in China, by the way, practically all of them. And they kill your birds and they ruin your beautiful landscapes. But other than that, I think they're quite good, right? Now, remember when we used to joke and kid when we were kidding, but we don't kid anymore? They want to watch the debates on television. They want to watch your favorite president on television. But the wind isn't blowing, so we can't watch television that night, Gladys. Remember? Gladys, I'm sorry, the wind is just not blowing. We're not watching Trump tonight. But I'm immediately withdrawing from the unfair, one-sided Paris Climate Accord ripoff. The United States will not sabotage our own industries while China pollutes with impunity. You know, China, I mean, look, they use a lot of dirty energy, but they produce a lot of energy. And when that stuff goes up in the air, you know, it doesn't stay there. It's not like you got a wall. We love walls, don't we? Not like you have a wall around and it doesn't. It floats into the United States of America after 3.5 to 5.5 days. It floats across the oceans and it comes right over your neighborhood and it falls into your neighborhood. So they all say, we have to fight for cleaner air, but the other dirty air is dropping all over us. So what the hell are they talking about? Unless everybody does it, it just doesn't work. You know, we had the cleanest air and the cleanest water that this country's ever had under the Trump administration, and we didn't do anything to stop jobs and stop production. Believe me, you're going to see a lot of companies come pouring back because tariffs. I always say tariffs is the most beautiful word to me in the dictionary. Then I was reprimanded by the fake news. They said, what about love, religion, and God? I said, I agree. Let's put God number one. Let's put religion number two. Love, I don't know. We got to put that number 3, I guess, right? And then it's tariff. Because tariffs are going to make us rich as hell. It's going to bring our country's businesses back that left us. And I'll also sign an executive order to immediately end federal government censorship of the American people. In America, we believe in free speech, and we're bringing it back starting today to stop the weaponization. Oh, do I know about that? These creeps. Deranged Jack Smith. You ever hear of him? Deranged. He's a deranged prosecutor. He's sick. They suck him on me. He's now been reduced to getting on an airplane, going back to The Hague or wherever the hell he came from. We got to get rid of that guy. Hey, was he one of the many people that got a pardon today? Did they pardon Jack Smith? You know, did you know that Biden, while I was making my speech, pardoned his whole family? The brother, the whole deal was pardoned. Can you imagine that? While I was making my speech. Did everybody hear my speech? Did you like my speech? Thank you. I mean, the only thing wrong with it is I had a lot of tough things to say, and I have some great people that work for me. Sir, this is such a great speech. It's so unifying. Don't talk about Biden with his pardons of his family. We want a unified country. They said, don't talk about the J6 hostages that you're going to be releasing today. Sir, don't put that in your speech, please. I said, but I want to put it in my speech. I said, sir, it won't be unified like it is. It's so beautiful the way it is. And it is getting great reviews. You know, if I put things like that in, I'll get terrible reviews. One little paragraph that's a little bit wrong, the fake news goes crazy, right? So I said, all right, I won't put it in my speech, but you know what? I'm speaking in front of a hell of a lot of people at a place called Capital One Arena, and I'll talk about it there. So we're going to be going over the beautiful Oval Office, one of the great offices in history. Even if it wasn't beautiful, it's the Oval Office, but it is beautiful. And we love the Oval Office. It all starts with the wars start and end there. Everything starts and ends at the Oval Office. We love it. But we're going to go to the Oval Office. We're going to release our great hostages that didn't do, for the most part, they didn't do stuff wrong. You take a look at what went on, and look what happens in other parts of the country. In Portland, where they kill people, they destroy the city, nothing happens to them. In Seattle, where they took over a big chunk of the city, nothing happened. Minneapolis, where they burned down the city, nothing happened. Essentially, nothing happened. All they want to do is go after the J6 hostages. A 76-year-old grandmother was arrested the other day because she was looking at the Capitol or something like that. No, we're not going to put up with that crap anymore. And to stop the weaponization of law enforcement, I've been investigated more than any human being in the world. I believe I have the all-time record. Every day a subpoena. Every single day would get subpoenas. I was more than any person. Alphonse Capone, remember I used to talk about it? Now, Alphonse Capone, Scarface, he was a pretty rough guy. He was investigated about 1/100th what Trump was investigated. My father's looking down at me, my mother, how the hell did this happen? You know what it is? They investigated their political opponent, the opponent of Biden, and then ultimately Kamala. Has anyone ever heard of Kamala? We had to beat two opponents, you know? We had to beat Biden, then we beat him. Now he goes on top. The guy was like 39 points down. I think I could have beaten Trump. They should have left me in. I would have beaten. No, his debate performance wasn't the best, right? That's what killed him. And then they had to change, and that's like you get into a fight. The great Dana White spoke last night. We love Dana White, right? UFC. That's like he puts in two fighters. One of them's getting creamed, getting really beaten, and they say, all right, take him out. Let's put somebody else in to finish up the fight. That's what they did to us. They gave us somebody new, but we took care of both of them. So we beat actually two opponents. But to stop the weaponization of law enforcement and our government, I will also sign an order directing every federal agency to preserve all records pertaining to political persecutions under the last administration, of which there were many, and beginning the process of exposing any and all abuses of power, even though he's pardoned many of these people. Can you believe it? He's pardoned them. You know why he did it while I was speaking? Because that way I couldn't speak about it. I was speaking. I didn't know he did it. I finished my speech, and they said, sir, he pardoned his whole family. I said, oh, can I go back out there and talk about it? Somehow that wouldn't be very elegant. Our First Lady would say, please don't do that. But we have plenty of time to talk about it, and we will. We're doing all of this on our very first day in office. You know, don't forget, we've been in this position, really, where we won the primaries in record time. We were the fastest win of a primary ever in political history, which is a very nice thing. It's nice to know. Well, the second election was rigged, so we knew we were doing well. And if it wasn't, you know what? If it wasn't, I would have never run. But the third one was just a monster. Boy, was that a big one, huh? That was a big one. On the second one, we got like 10 or 12 million votes more than the first one. How about that? We did great on the first one. We did much better on the second one. But bad did we do well on the third one. So we're gonna have some fun. It's very simple. We're gonna make our country great. We're gonna make our country great again. We're gonna make America great again. How good a name is MAGA, though, right? You know? I was going to say, keep America great, but unfortunately it wasn't great. Can't say keep it great. It will be great again, but CAG, keep America great, CAG, I don't think it's ever going to replace MAGA. Does anybody like CAG? I don't think so. Never replacing MAGA. Nothing will ever replace MAGA. MAGA was the most successful political operation, political movement in the history of our country, maybe in the history of the world. Let's see what happens, because we're not finished yet. We're not finished yet. We got a long way to go. But we're doing this on the very first day in office, and in just a few moments, I'm not only signing the release of the J6 hostages, I'm signing other things that you're going to love. Oh, you're going to be happy reading newspapers tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. So I just want to thank, I mean, look at this place. It's full to the rafters. You don't have any, look at those people up there. You don't have any empty seats. And by the way, the Capital One owners, they are so good. We got to root for their teams because they have been so great to MAGA, to us. And I just want to thank Ted and everybody. You guys have been fantastic. And the ice hockey team's doing great. Ovechkin's pretty good, right? They're doing great. So I want to thank them, Capital One arena owners. They have been absolutely fantastic. And thank you once again to everyone. And I can only tell you, you're going to be very happy. You're going to watch a lot of good things happen. We got to stop some wars that are happening and going on. Some stupid things are happening. The war with Ukraine would have never happened, and it has. As you know, Israel would have never been hit on October 7th, and none of you would be up here. None of you would even know anything about this tragedy that you're going through right now. But Iran was broke. Anybody that bought oil from Iran, they couldn't do any business with us. You're not going to do business with America. China passed. Everybody passed. They were broke. They didn't have money for Hamas. They didn't have money for Hezbollah. And your sons would be alive, and they certainly wouldn't be incarcerated like they are. It's a shame, but we're getting a lot of people out in a short period of time. So I'm going to go right over to here, and I'm going to sign in front of you. Is that okay? Good.
Let us see what he will sign. Shalom, everybody. I hope he will sign the strongest sanctions ever on Iran and any terrorist groups. Let's see, those are the hostages' parents, and many of them, actually, their sons and daughters are killed already. They want just their bodies. Let us see what he will sign. Small table.
Why don't you say what I'm saying? Sure. The first item that President Trump is signing is the rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions, executive orders, presidential memorandum.
That's it, one signature. 78 of Biden order are gone. Bingo. Biden to hell.
The second item, President Trump, is a regulatory freeze, as you announced in your speech, preventing bureaucrats from issuing any more regulations.
The second item, President Trump, is a regulatory freeze, as you announced in your speech, preventing bureaucrats from issuing any more regulations until we have full control of this, the government and this administration.
He used one pen each time he signed. He don't use it again. I like his signature, actually.
The next item, sir, is a freeze on all federal hiring, except in the military and a number of other excluded categories. Again, until
The next item, sir, is a freeze on all federal hiring.
No more hiring for the government except the army.
Categories, again, until full control of the government is achieved, and we understand.
They are hiring employees, they have no jobs.
Could you imagine Biden doing this? I don't think so. Could you imagine
Next.
Biden doing this? I don't
Next
think
item,
so.
as you announced in your speech, is a requirement that federal workers return to full-time in-person work. Next item, as
See, Joe Biden, he allow people to work from home, which means they are not working. They take salary, but in reality, they never show up to work. Those are Democrat members who they are friends of friends. They never went to work. Imagine, they hire them, they get salary at home. More than 50,000 of them.
Next, we have a directive to every department and agency in the federal government to address the cost of living crisis that has cost Americans so dearly. Next, we have a directive
Wonderful.
to every department and agency in the federal government to address the cost of living crisis that has cost Americans so dearly.
I got an echo. Oh, sorry. It's my fault, sorry. Now you don't have an echo.
Thank you, sir. The next item here is the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty.
Yeah, no global warming garbage. Lies. We are freezing. I have a 3-inch of ice outside.
Yes, sir.
Global warming.
We're going to save over $1 trillion by withdrawing from that treaty.
Imagine, $1 trillion we spend for nothing. Trillion, not billion.
And the next item, sir, is a letter that will be transmitted to the United Nations explaining that we are withdrawing from the Paris Climate Treaty.
Withdrawing from what? What he said? He said United Nations withdrawing from what? I did not hear that one.
Thank you, sir. This next item is a directive to the federal government ordering the restoration of freedom of speech and preventing government censorship of free speech going forward.
Yeah, he said withdrawing from United Nations something I did not understand. Ah, okay, from the climate treaty, okay. This one is about freedom of speech.
And lastly, sir, before we go back to the Oval Office to sign a large number of other items, is a directive to the federal government ending the weaponization of government against the political adversaries of the previous administration, as we've seen.
What about freeing the poor prisoners of January 6th?
Thank you very much, sir.
It should be done right now. I don't see any more. Where is the... What? Did he sign it already? He's giving pins. This is why he was signing. People fighting over it. I got it, I got it. Oh my eye. But shouldn't he sign the order for the... Did he sign it already for January 6th? This guy, he got the pen. He's happy. He's taking picture of the pen. People are really weird. That's funny. Take selfie with the pen. Is he done? I thought he will sign the order to free the, January 6th. Is it today? I mean, why he wanted them sleep at, in a prison one more night? No, he said he would do what, I don't, but he did not hear him saying, he did say anything like this. Maybe he will do it in the office later. He signed some orders. Let me see. Hold on. I don't know what they are. I think those orders he signed is for his cabinet. I will play it after this finish here. Hey, Kamala, are you watching? Somebody call Kamala. Yeah, I hope so. We should let them go tonight, Those poor people, they stayed for 4 years in jail. Lord have mercy. Yeah, the podcast is over. Let me change. There is. Come here. Look how she's dancing. That's funny. what, what is that? Oh boy, little teenage. Look at this old woman. Hey, Democrat, come and dance with us. Come on. They are not leaving. Like there's like, is he coming back? There's something. I don't know. People are not leaving. It doesn't look like people are going anywhere. Right? Everybody's still in his chair. Nobody is leaving. There's no audio anymore. This is from their side. There is something wrong with the podcast. Let me see the other. He did sign an order here. Let us mute this one. There is something wrong with the podcast. They are stuck. He signed this like, I think 2 hours ago. So what he signed, let us see.
Sign your orders.
Official documents.
Okay, I assume they're going to be happy with these
Yeah,
documents.
they're we might not be here. It's a tradition.
Sir, the first is 22 cabinet and cabinet level appointments for your signature.
Okay.
This is for the cabinet, his cabinet.
Okay.
But you know, those should be made as a law,
Next one will be
not only
47
as an order, because law as an order can be done by signature of the current president. We should make it as a law in the Congress.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Now 31 acting designations and appointments to effectively take control of the government.
Let's do that.
Take control of the government.
That's important.
Sounds important, doesn't it?
And we have 15 commission chairman and acting chairman appointments.
Send him.
Commission chairman and acting chairman.
He was #1 at Harvard also. You know that? He was number.
Good counsel.
They have something in common.
Thank you, sir. Lastly, we have a proclamation ordering that on all future inauguration days, including this inauguration day, that flags shall be flown at full mast.
Very important.
This is just about government function and practice of government.
Beautiful place to have an inauguration tonight. The sound was so good. The temperature was 72 degrees, but the sound was so good. Maybe something to think about.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
The good acoustics. Yes.
Done?
All right. Now
That's it.
we go to lunch.
The pen, the pen. The pen. What do you take the pen? This is my pen. Uh-oh. He gave the pen to this guy, Hakeem.
Sir.
Hakeem will sell it to somebody for $200,000.
Very nice. Very nice. Beautiful custom. It goes back as long as helicopters. Before that, it was a stagecoach. But it was, I thought it was beautiful. Thank you. Great job. Great job. Check.
Nobody say no, because they will sell it.
Well, I'm not going to discuss it now. I think it was unfortunate that he did that. We won't discuss it now. There's plenty of time to discuss it.
Thank you very much, guys.
Should we go to lunch? Okay.
Head to lunch.
Ready for lunch? Okay. Thank you.
That was 3 times the number of appointments you did in 2017.
Go out, Democrat, go.
Just getting started.
Provide them citizenship in Somalia with Ihlan Omar. All right. Well, this is done here. This is done here. Let us go back to the live podcast. Still they are stuck. Something wrong with this broadcast. What happened? Poor guy. He will keep shaking his body like this all day. Okay. What happened here with those people? Look like this broadcast, nobody is watching. I mean, what's going on? The one who is in charge, he left the table and he went to eat. Voice of America? This is government. Oh, okay, let us see. Let us see if they will dare to insult Trump from after now. This is Trump leaving where? To eat ice cream somewhere, maybe. And the quality of their broadcast is really horrible. Look, it's hard you can see the car. Let us increase the quality. Still is bad. Washington DC internet is horrible, obviously. Yeah, they underestimated him first time and now they got screwed again. They underestimated us, my friend. They thought they are in control and Christians are not there no more. They thought their country become gays and lesbian. They took the country for granted. They own it. They thought they owned the black people too. You know? They thought the black will never vote for anyone except Democrat. But black is getting more educated about this cult Democratic Party. They are just using them. They never do anything good to them. It's okay. This is Voice of America. At least they can't flag us. This is government, broadcast. And I think they are using the same source. Like Fox News, all the cameras are using one camera. There's no many cameras, and all have their own camera. I want to buy one of those cameras, one of those cars. You know? Look, people in this cold are in the side of the road. It's so cold outside. Unbelievable. I mean, what Trump will lose? He give me one of those wee. We can go on wee together. Why it's so dark? Because it's... What do you mean it's so dark? It's winter. At winter it get dark, early. Same time there is a snowstorm. Actually, they are lucky there is no snow. There is snow. I mean, here I have a snow. How come in Washington DC they have no snow? There's no snow at all. It's just cold. Weird. I mean, it shouldn't be they have it. Let me see the weather. Maybe the snow tomorrow. Washington DC weather. It is -7 centigrade now, but it's clear. Like people are screaming. Hey! Where is going now? Yeah, it's a clear sky right now. It's going to be cloudy later, but there is no snow still. Even tomorrow, there is no snow. You see, I use centigrade, not Fahrenheit, because I'm used to it. Like since I was in the Middle East, we use centigrade. We don't use Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's snowing everywhere. Even in my fridge, it's snowing. So But no, there is no. I don't think they salted the tree. You see, there is. It says there is. It's clear. So there was no snow or anything during the day. You know, these areas are very dangerous. I don't know. For me, I would not trust to have those containers there in the corner. You know, like going through such a location can be very dangerous, even if they have a high security. Yeah, some areas they have 48 inches of snow this winter. See, in Fox News they have commercial break. This is Voice of America. It's a government agency, so they can play commercial. It's better. $26? Okay. Well, 26 is very nice weather. For me, I prefer a weather where there is winter and summer, you know, because you will take a break from all those evil insect, the insect of Allah, mosquitoes, and so if you sit outside, even in the cold, you will not be bothered by anything. But if the weather is always nice, I mean warm, the mosquitoes will be all over you. I mean, you know, because I'm very handsome, mosquitoes love me, man. And I learned that mosquitoes are females. That make it more understood why. They love my blood. You will see me walking outside and just moving my legs up and down, trying to push the mosquitoes away. What is this? Utility truck? Emergency? What they have inside? Rockets? I told you, Trump, he worked as a plumber. Look how many plumbing van he have. You never believe me. He's going to do plumbing now for the government of America. A lot of sewage. The poo-poo of Biden is all over the place. Oh, look like there's a party after now. Oh, okay, there's a party. Oh, okay. There's a party. I see they are preparing for a party in Fox News. On the stage. Yeah, my legs is hairy, correct, hairy booter, but my feet, my friend. You don't have hair on my feet. What, do you think I'm a monkey? Even monkeys don't have hair on their feet. Yeah, but he should release them now, tonight. I mean, why he's waiting until tomorrow? This filthy Biden, he burdened every one of his family. And this is telling you that they are criminals for sure, you know? Otherwise, you would burden from what? Not only his son, the whole family. It's a mafia gang. See, this is why I don't like to be president. Here we go. They stop him. Traffic light. If I'm not the president, you cross. You know, you take a U-turn, and you come back. You know, like in the corner. But now you are president. You have to wait. You know, you have to wait. I cannot run for a president. I'm not born in this country. I can run only for Congress or Senate. Now, I'm very sure if I like speak openly and I reveal myself to public, I'm sure I can win, you know. But it's not really my interest. I don't. I don't like publicity. Okay, what? The camera will stop here now? Hey, Voice of America, go somewhere else. What? You will stop in the parking lot? It's even cold. Yeah. He burdened the family of a Cheney. You know, they are mafia, corrupt. He burdened those who they were, you know, investigating January 6th, because there's a lot of evidence. They fabricated evidence, and they were, you know, like they did plan to use FBI agent to encourage them to do like to go inside the building. It was a setup. Hold on, this is let us see. In different station there is something else. What is this? Look, those guys, they stuck in the. Let us see here. Okay, we will move. We will move. Where is this station? Yeah, they are not showing really. They are just look like this is the only one now until now is doing good. Yeah, until now there's nothing. So we have to wait and see what is next. Maybe he went to the bathroom and he will continue going somewhere, you know? Because, you know, president, they go to the bathroom a lot. The Voice of America going with the camera where? No, I'm telling you, because when I was a president, I used to go to the bathroom a lot. But since I'm not a president, that's it. I go once a week.
I'm assuming you want me to put this back, right? It's a little further out. That's the remnants of it.
Yeah, clean the floor. Security. Be sure it's clean. There's liquid in the ground. Voice of America is out in the street. Where are you going? And the camera of the truck of Voice of America is moving left and right. He's doing zigzag. Okay, finally they switched to the front camera. All right. All right. Let's see what will happen here. You know, I hoped he will delete totally the income tax to all American, and he will go only for consumption tax, which means you buy, you pay. This income tax is preventing a lot of business from growing. Like now, he canceled the global warming treaty and whatever come with it, and that saved $1 trillion. Imagine how stupid those government are. We spend $1 trillion, and China didn't spend one penny. India is the same. And for what? What exactly? Why we need to spend this money for? You know, what we will do with it? Where the money is going? Like, nobody's allowed to, you know, I mean, we have regulation to people to follow. There's no need for the $1 trillion. Yeah, $1 trillion, not 1 billion. They're stupid. In fact, we should kick out the United Nations, because we are number one who spend money in United Nations. The building for free, the electricity for free. We are number one donors for it. There's half of the world, they don't pay a penny. You know, they don't pay anything for United Nations. They don't pay for membership. The one who open and run the United Nations as finance is USA. What is the benefit of the United Nations? Supporting Hamas? If I am in his place, I will cancel our membership. There's nothing but terrorists in that. So now what is next? Are you going to keep us with this camera looking at the White House? You see, they build all those things in the front of the White House for nothing. Cost a lot of money. And then they change their mind about doing it inside. You know, when I was president, I made a lot of success in a country called Somalia. I took the country was like very bad, you know. I left the country, it was bad before me, it became horrible after me. So if anyone have a country looking for a president, you can contact me immediately. I can take over part-time. And if you want to fix a country like UK, you can have a prime minister like Andrew Tits. Andrew Tits. There's no other camera, all is the same. I'm looking, there's other TV stations, all they are doing the same. I see now in the news they are saying soon Trump will sign additional actions. So let us see what he will sign. I hope he will sign for January 6th. I really feel bad for those people, you know. But the good thing is, in one signature, Trump, he did revision of 78 Biden executive order, just one signature. This is why those executive order are good like for the first day, but after that he should submit law approval for the Congress so it will become a permanent law, not just, you know, he'd go, the one come after him, take it down. $200. Well, you know, if I am him, actually, I would be tired. I mean, this guy is 78 years old. He's up maybe from 5 a.m. in the morning today, and probably he did not sleep last night. I mean, this is not easy for the health of this man at this age, right? It's not easy to be in this age.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. And was that a hell of a speech or what? That was, man. That was a good way to start it off. You know, I didn't know exactly what the president would put in that speech, and I hoped to myself that he wasn't going to hold back, and sir, you didn't hold back. That was a hell of a way to start the next 4 years. But I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, and I know I speak for the president and for all of us, thank you, thank you, thank you for making this possible. We love you. We wouldn't be here without you, and we're going to make America great again together for the next 4 years.
This is a replay. Right? This is a replay from what happened before.
And the last thing I'll say is, you know, having stood outside for about 5 minutes to wave goodbye to the Bidens, thank God we moved that thing indoors because it was a beautiful ceremony and it was cold as hell outside. So, sir, the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
No, he's right. I looked, I said, oh, look at this beautiful sunny day. We blew it, and then I went outside and we were freezing. You would have been very unhappy. The sun was very deceptive, I will tell you. It is cold out. And I'm sort of saying, you know, that was so beautiful today. Maybe they should do it there every 4 years. Does that make sense? I don't know. Because, you know, the outdoor thing is really good, but it gets a little cold around this time of the year, as some people have noticed. And a lot of times they suffer through it. There was no suffering in that room. It was 72 degrees. It was perfect with the best acoustics I think I've ever heard.
Yeah, do it in Florida, in your hometown.
Either. But I just want to say, you're a younger, far more beautiful audience that I just spoke to. And I want to keep it off the record. I want to keep that off the record. Because I don't want to have all those big shots up there. I don't want to think you're more powerful than them, you look better than them, and I love you. Now, we just had a great time. We just had a great day. This was amazing. You know, when you think we took a journey, I mentioned in the speech, a lot of people said that was not a journey that was possible, and it was indeed possible. I didn't really know too much about what they were saying when they said that, but a lot of people felt it, and we hooked up with JD very early. I watched JD over a period of time. I endorsed him in Ohio. He was a great senator, and very, very smart. The only one smarter than him was his wife. That was, I would have chosen her, but somehow the line of succession didn't work that way, right? But now she's great, and he's great. This is a great, beautiful couple, and unbelievable career. I just said to him, you are very upwardly mobile, because he hasn't been doing it that long, but he picked it up so quickly. Remember, the first week was a little bit like the fake news was hitting him really hard. And I said, ooh, this may be tough, but after that, it was smooth sailing for him. He took on everybody. He took on the meanest. I don't want to use the word corrupt because we're into a new system, so let's wait till the corruption begins, because it will. But he took on some pretty mean people, and he handled it well. I want to also congratulate Mike Johnson for the job that he's doing. Steve, we gave him a majority of almost nothing, and then I said to make it tougher on him, let me take 2 or 3 of the people, right? I said he'll only have to suffer with that for about 3 months. How are they doing, by the way? Are they? Is that moving along?
Totally unified.
I said, do you mind if I take this one, that one, and a couple of others? He didn't mind. He can handle it. No, he's a man that's like.
All right, look like they are just,
You've got how many is it? 219,
you know, replaying what we saw already
and of the 220,
in the previous
really
broadcast.
I noticed he got 1 negative vote.
No, should I come back again later if he signed more?
If you want to know the truth.
What do you think, guys?
Unusual. I know a lot
because this is we watched this already. There's no point of watching this. This is we saw already. What happened to the Voice of America? Voice of America. Where is Voice of America? Voice America, maybe it was the video before it and finish. Here. They still having the, oh, it's over. The podcast is over. This is why. Yeah, it's over. Well, if he will sign, we will see. If I see he will sign anything, but I don't know. Do you think it's possible? I mean, I'm really disappointed if he did not sign tonight. Why you want to let those poor people in jail one night and he's president now? He should do it the first thing after he took the oath, you know, right away in the front of Biden, right away, you know, and on the stage in front of Biden. He should, because those people who loved him most, they paid a very expensive price. I mean, 4 years of their life in jail and investigation and, you know, harassment, and they harassed their families. 4 years, that's not, you know, and many of them, they sentenced them for 20 years in jail. Can you believe it? They went over people even by credit card. Like if you use your credit card in that area and you support Trump, they investigate and try to find if you were there. This is how filthy those Democrats are. Now he said he will not go after them. He should. He should. This is not right. He should go after all the FBI agents who work for Biden, all those who they set up for those who support Trump, and anyone else, because this is not right. You know, if somebody did violence, okay, arrest him. If somebody killed somebody, he deserves punishment. But people are protesting. How come those who they protest for free Palestine and they occupy the same building and they broke the doors through the security, not a single one arrested, and nobody is being taken to court just because they are free Palestine? So he should have freed them immediately. I hope so. One of them got 25 years in prison. Imagine you go to support Trump, and then you end taking 25 years as if you are a drug dealer. And many of them, they are veteran in the army. You know, like, honestly, I never saw a pervert regime as Biden and Kamala. This person, he claimed to be Christian, but he is the most pervert, filthy, wicked man ever I saw. Like when I saw that he brought those transgender and lesbian, and they took off their t-shirts showing their boobs in the White House. Imagine when the whole world is watching this, what they will say about us. He command, this filthy Biden, he command every embassy to raise the flag of the gays, not the flag of America, on the embassy. Pervert people, you know, those are not political party, they are sexual party. Everything they want is about sex, transgender, dragon, the dragon filthy rat. And they try to penetrate the whole system, schools, universities, even the kids where Disneyland, it's about homosexual. And I'm glad this guy, the sentence, he taught Disneyland how to behave. I mean, this guy, he wiped the floor with them. Maybe he will become the coming president. All right? Let us hope so, after Trump. All right, guys, I'm not going to keep you longer. I don't see any new life will come. If we see anything new, I will go live again. However, I'm very excited. I hope we will wish him a success. But until now, his promises is missing a lot of things we want. You know, we want way more than this. Like he stopped now hiring for government. What about firing employees of government? They hire new 80,000 employee for IRS. What for? If everything done by computers. 80,000 is an army. UK does not have more than 80,000 soldiers. The army of the UK is not even 80,000. Biden, he hired additional 80,000. So what is the total number? A million? There's an event there. Okay, let me see. What is this? Is live? CBNC. Trump hater. Okay. What? They are eating. Yum, yum. I think this is the basement in the White House. Yeah, still is not important for us anyway. Like, you know, the camera is far anyway, you cannot see anything. And there's nothing but people moving around with dishes. And nothing in the stage. Maybe later after the food they will do something, I'm not sure. What is going to be for dinner? Those are kuffar. They will be eating ham and pork. Haram. Loud? We don't. Who is singing? There's nobody singing. Trump said he has something like 180 executive order. I heard he will do 200, but maybe the first 20 is just for activating his government, like his ministers, and you know, so everybody will go to his office, his cabinet, Department of Air Force. Look like this is mostly military dinner. Oh, now somebody will come on the stage and say something. Yeah, I have all the symbolic of the US forces. If I am him, I will sign 400. I mean, it take only signature, you know. I wish he would sign to cancel all the burden of Biden. What do you think about that? That would be a good one. He say, hey, listen, I am president too. I cancel all the burden of Joe Biden. By the way, can Joe Biden burden himself? He cannot. Go after Joe Biden and investigate him. Anyway, the guy is dead. By the time the investigation will be over, he will be in the coffin. He should go after Kamala Harris. The wicked Hillary Clinton. A lot of military officers. Look like this is a military occasion more than a civilians. I see a lot of military. Even like a normal officer, like this guy is a private. That guy is a sergeant. And there's majors, there's colonel, there's... Yeah, look like they have from the Marines, from the Army, from Air Force. Commander-in-Chief, okay. This is the only time those officers, they enjoy their life. The rest of their life is in the base. You see your family once a while. Especially those who serve in the Marine and you know, in on the sea, where the airplane carrier go for like 6 months, 7 months. They are gossiping about me. I hate when people start talking about me in my back. You love the uniform? I hate the uniform. I hate anything it's called suit. But what you can do, you know, when I joined the army, I have to, especially in the training period, you know, when you join the army, you have because it's a uniform. It's something you did not choose. It's something they force you to wear. And I don't like suit. I don't feel comfortable. Here we go.
We have about 6 commutations in there.
What is this?
Nice to see you again.
What is this?
So this is a big one. Anything you want to explain about this? We hope they get them. We hope they come out tonight, frankly. They're expecting it.
What is this?
Approximately 1,500 people. Six commutations.
Were there any cases you did not?
This is maybe January 6th?
Looking at different things, but the commutations would be the ones that we'll take a look, and maybe it'll stay that way, or it'll go to, you know, full pardon.
And the order does require the Bureau of Prisons to act immediately on receipt of the pardons and commutation
Wonderful.
orders. Sir, this is an
Why don't we get that down so they can get them going right now?
Yes, sir.
Is that okay?
Yep, absolutely.
Yahoo!
This is a proclamation guaranteeing the state's protection against invasion based on the current crisis at the southern border. It invokes various executive powers relating to the ongoing invasion.
Signed. Good, we waited. Yeah, it is about 1,500 people, he said. Imagine 1,500 people.
I don't think they will. I don't think they can be. They're very straight up. Why don't you take that and go over here? Could you get him over here, not on the side angle? Do you mind? Just go right over here with your friends. Okay?
Sir, this is an executive order realigning the United States refugee admission program.
Here we
To
go.
better align with American principles and American interests.
Get them out. They are bringing from Somalia, from... Very good, very good.
Okay?
See how one signature can free you from jail for 20 years? One signature.
Thank you, sir. This next executive order is about protecting America from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats. Again, crisis at the border, but it goes beyond that. and
No
implicates other
Muslims.
executive powers as well.
No Muslim terrorists can cross the borders. Do it. Yeah, already he signed January 6th.
Cartels are now going to be seen as foreign terror organizations. Would you think about ordering U.S.
Is that decoy?
into Mexico to take them out?
Could happen. Stranger things have happened.
Mr. President,
And
how
that
will
was
you make
actually
sure that Maduro would accept Venezuelans?
Say it.
Venezuela.
How will you make sure that Maduro will accept Venezuelans?
Well, we're going to see on Venezuela. We're looking at Venezuela very strongly. It's a country I know very well for a lot of reasons, and it's, boy, it was a great country 20 years ago, and now it's a mess, right?
Sir, can we expect ICE raids starting tomorrow in major cities?
What does that mean?
Can we expect ICE raids in major cities?
I don't want to say when, but it's going to happen. Has to happen, or we're not going to have a country left.
This is actually an executive order designating the cartels and other organizations to be foreign terrorist organizations.
Wonderful. Until now, they did not make a decision that cartel are terrorist organization.
Wanted
Can
to
you
do
believe
this
it?
for years.
Biden.
So they are now designated as terrorist organizations, foreign, and
So we can bomb them now.
Mexico probably doesn't want that, but we have to do what's right. They're killing our people. They're killing 250, 300,000 American people a year. Not
Wow.
100,
Amazing.
like has been reported for
Scary, man.
15 years. It's probably 300,000.
This is an
So
executive.
you just said Mexico doesn't want that, how are you gonna deal with this?
I don't know, you'll have to ask them.
Look how silly those
This is an
questions, you
executive
know.
order entitled Protecting the American People Against Invasion, which again deals with the southern border and the unprecedented admission of illegal aliens across the southern border.
What do you see the biggest national security threat to the U.S., Mr. President? What's going to be your priority on foreign policy?
Say?
What's going to be your priority on foreign policy? What do you see as the biggest
Well,
national
foreign
security
policy is a
threat?
big statement. I mean.
I hope he will take
priority of foreign
he will
policy
take
is to
against
keep-
action
it's
against
gonna be
Syria.
to keep America safe.
Those
Very
terrorist
simple.
government in Syria.
It's a big question, though. That's a very big
Who
question.
is going to be the first foreign leader that you plan to meet, or who you going to call?
The sound is
tomorrow
good.
on your first day in
I've
office?
already been meeting people. I've been meeting them. I've been talking to them. I met with Prime Minister Trudeau, who I call Governor Trudeau. I met with numerous foreign leaders. Go ahead.
Sir, this next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
Ed, that's a good one. Birthright. Big
Ah,
one.
What about that one in the course? That one is likely.
guys, do you know what is that?
We think we have
You
good
know, they
grounds,
used to
but
come-
You could be right. I mean, you'll find out.
The woman she come to America,
We're the only
she's going to
country in
deliver
the
in
world
America. She deliver her
does this
child.
with
He become American right away. So
And
that
it's
will no
just
more.
Absolutely ridiculous, but, you know, we'll see. We think
Wonderful.
we have very good grounds.
Sir, this,
People have wanted to do this for decades.
sir, this is a proclamation declaring a national emergency at the southern border of the United States.
That's a big one. A lot of big ones, huh?
He was,
that
he was
means, huh?
saying that if a woman she came visiting America and she deliver a child, her child will not become an American automatically. Never.
He may have.
This was from Kennedy. Stupidity.
Wait. Don't they leave it in the desk? I don't know. Oh,
What do you have here?
What's in there?
thank you, Peter. It could have been years before we found it.
Chocolate.
Wow, thank you.
What does it say on the outside?
Maybe we should all read it together.
Let's read it.
Well, maybe I'll read it first and then make.
This is an envelope he left in his desk 4 years ago.
Thank you very much. I may not have seen this for months.
Happy to help with the passing of the torch.
I did, I left him one in the desk just like this.
What are you talking about?
Unification of our country. You know, I didn't know that he gave a pardon to his family because he did it during my speech.
She didn't tell you in the limo?
No, he didn't tell me, no. He did it They released it during my speech. I mean, during my speech. So all I could do was say, excuse me, I'd like to come back and speak some more. So, no, we were surprised by that.
Mr. President,
It's bad precedent, obviously.
where are you thinking on tariffs on Mexico, given these actions you're signing on the border?
Well, we're thinking in terms of 25% on Mexico and Canada because they're allowing vast numbers of people. Canada's a very bad abuser also. Vast numbers of people to come in and fentanyl to come in.
When do you think you would enact those?
I think February 1st.
Are you planning on giving notice of that?
I think we'll do it February 1st.
February 1st.
Then on both, sir.
Sir,
On each.
On each, yes.
this is an executive order taking a large number of executive actions to secure our southern border.
Okay? Sounds reasonable.
President Trump, we remember 4 years ago, Barack Obama had told you that the top threat to the country was going to be North Korea. Did Joe Biden tell you what he thinks the top threat to the country is right now?
No.
Why not?
I think we have a lot of them. Right now, I think we have a lot. I think North Korea turned out to be good. I was very friendly with him. He liked me, I liked him. We got along very well.
The birth he's talking
They
about,
thought that was
if a tourist he is coming to
Now he has a
America
nuclear power.
or a migrant
We
come to
get along.
America, but she is not
I'd be
legal.
happy to
Anyone
see him
is
coming
not
back.
an
They
American
get tremendous
citizen
condo
or have a green
capabilities down on
card,
the shoreline.
his son, her daughter will not get American citizen just by birth.
To coordinate
All right?
immigration,
About who?
about immigration in general.
This is an executive order. Sorry, sir.
I'm fine with legal immigration. I like it. We need
Yeah.
people. And I'm absolutely fine with it.
Nobody's against
We
legal.
want to have it. We need it because we're going to have a lot of companies coming in to avoid tariffs. You know, if you don't want tariffs, all you have to do is build your plant in the U.S. So we're going to have a lot of workers coming in. But we have to have legal immigration.
Right.
Do you have a date in mind for when you want to put in on the China tariffs that you talked about?
Which one?
60%?
No? You're talking about which? Say it again.
The China tariffs, the broad
Oh, China?
tariffs?
Well, as you know, I put on large tariffs on China, and they've really been forced to leave them. And if we didn't leave them, you wouldn't have one steel mill that's open in this country because they were dumping massive amounts of steel. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars from China because they were unable to terminate the tariffs I put on China because there was too much money and the budgets didn't work and other reasons too. No, I mean, we're going to have meetings and calls with President Xi. I spoke to President Xi last week, as you know. Did you know that? I had a very good phone call.
But please come with NATO at this moment. Are you planning to meet your NATO allies?
No, NATO has to pay more money. NATO has to pay 5%. We are, we're in the Ukraine war by $200 billion more than NATO. It's ridiculous because it affects them a lot more. We have an ocean in between. And we've spent $200 billion more on Ukraine than NATO has spent. And they've got to equalize.
Did you talk
How
to
can you
Xi
pressure
about?
That's fair.
Did you talk to Xi about the Ukraine war?
Yeah.
Because China and Brazil together has a proposal to bring Russia and Ukraine to talk.
That's good. That's fine. I'm ready.
When are you going
That's
to talk
good.
with the Brazilian president?
How did Brazil get involved?
Brazil's-
This is a new one.
When are you going to talk to Lula?
Are you from Brazil?
From Brazil.
Ah,
When are you
that's
talking?
why they're involved, I guess.
When are you going to talk with the Brazilian president? How do you see our relationship?
Why he will talk to him?
Latin America and Brazil.
He's a
Great.
communist.
Should be great. They need us.
Put tariff
More
on
than
them
we need them.
until
We
they
don't
get
need
this.
them. They need us. Everybody
He
needs us.
is a communist. He's a filthy.
Mr. President, it sounds like you will not proceed with additional China tariffs necessarily, depending on how talks go with President Xi. Is that correct?
What does that, define that?
Well, we are asking you.
He is the same as Biden, the president of Brazil now.
Because of fentanyl.
Right, so I'm asking where your.
That's only because of fentanyl. There are other things too.
Are additional.
And a
China
very
tariffs-
big thing is the Panama Canal. China controls the Panama Canal. What's that all about? They're not supposed to be good. When Jimmy Carter gave it, which was a terrible mistake, he didn't do it. He didn't give it to China. He gave it to Panama. And China controls the Panama Canal.
So are China tariffs
And
still
we're not
on the
going to
table?
allow that to happen.
Are they still on the table, or is that?
We're not, no, we're not going to.
I don't know why he allowed those journalists to be in the office now.
What of the countries in NATO that spend the least amount of money, like Spain, France, below the 5%?
Spain is very low.
I mean, isn't this guy
Are they a
tired?
BRICS nation?
What?
They're a BRICS nation, Spain. You know what a BRICS nation is? Well, you'll figure it out.
You don't know.
But
The journalists do
and
not
if
know what the BRICS nation.
want to do that, that's okay, but we're going to put at least a 100% tariff on the business they do with the United States. You know what the BRICS is, right? You guys know.
You do not know.
You know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying.
Potato. He's a potato.
This is an
So it's not even a threat. In fact, since I made that statement, Biden said, well, they have us over a barrel. I said, no, we have them over a barrel. And there's no way they're going to be able to do that.
This is an executive order relating to.
Tariffs, those countries, like Spain?
As a BRICS nation, yes.
But how
They'll
is
have
it
a
a BRICS
100% tariff if
Yeah.
they so much as even think about
They're trying to
doing what
fight America, those BRICS nations.
and therefore they'll give
So
it up
punish them.
immediately. So will China give it up.
So this is about reforming the system of hiring in the federal government to ensure that merit is the lodestar of hiring decisions as
As
opposed
per
to
the Supreme Court.
other matters. Yes, sir.
This is a big deal, merit. Our country is going to be based on merit again. Can you believe it?
Mr. President, you had said you would end the Russia-Ukraine war on your first day in office. Where do things stand right now, and how do you intend?
Well, this is only half a day. I have another half a day left. We'll see. We want to get it done.
This is an order creating and implementing the Department of Governmental Efficiency, known as DOGE.
Okay, that's a big one.
Is Elon Musk gonna get a West Wing office?
No, he's getting an office for about 20 people that we're hiring to make sure that these get implemented. We have a problem in this country. You sign an executive order, it doesn't get done for 6 months. As an example, when we allow the J6 hostages to go out, it might not be approved under the old days for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months. You know, they had a good ruling from the Supreme Court, and it's like nothing happened. That ruling was 6 months ago, you know that. And it was like they didn't have a ruling. They've been treated very unfair. The judges have been absolutely brutal. The prosecutors have been brutal. Nobody's ever treated people in this country like that.
Mr. President, are you commuting the sentences of anyone who assaulted a police officer on January 6th?
Well, we're looking at 2 police officers, actually, that Washington police officers who went after an illegal, and things happened, and they ended up putting them in jail. They got 5-year jail sentences. You know the case. And we're looking at that in order to give them we got to give them a break.
But is there clemency in your actions today for anyone?
Well, it would be a
who
pardon.
assaulted
That would be a
police
pardon.
officers?
The one I'm talking about would be a pardon.
Here you go, sir. This is
Should
an.
there be punishment for the people who assaulted law enforcement officers that day?
Well, I will say this, they've been in jail for a long time already. I see murderers in this country get 2 years, 1 year, and maybe no time. So they've already been in jail for a long time. These people have been destroyed. What they've done to these people is outrageous. There's rarely been anything like it in history, in the history of our country. And even people that were aggressive, and in many cases, I believe they happen to be outside agitators, but, you know, what do I know, right? But I think they were outside agitators. There were outside agitators involved. And obviously the FBI was involved
Yeah.
because Ray admitted the FBI was involved. Didn't he say 23 people indirectly or directly were involved? And it was then 26. That's a lot of people. Now we have, we got to take care of these people have been treated so badly. It's never happened before. What happened in Seattle where they took over a big
It was a
portion of
setup,
the city?
you know.
What happened in Portland where they burn down the city every day and people die? Nothing happened to anybody. But they go after these people violently. I mean, they're still going after brand new people. They found somebody else with a picture. There's never been anything like this. And you know, it's almost 100%. Think of this. Almost 100% of the people are convicted. 100%. It's Washington, D.C. people go into a trial and they say, oh, I have a wonderful lawyer and I didn't do anything wrong. And they end up in shackles almost immediately and jail. No, we're not going to let it happen.
About Greenland, you have shown interest in buying it, but is there any other option that would satisfy you?
About what?
Greenland, instead of buying it.
Finland?
Greenland.
Oh, Greenland. Greenland is a wonderful place. We need it for international security. And I'm sure that Denmark will come along. I think it's costing them a lot of money to maintain it, to keep it. The people of Greenland are not happy with Denmark, as you know. I think they're happy with us. We had representatives, my son and representatives went up there 2 weeks ago, and they like us. So we'll see what happens. But Greenland is necessary, not for us, it's necessary for international security. You have Russian boats all over the place. You have China boats all over the place, warships. And they can't maintain it.
When are you going to be talking to Vladimir Putin?
Who?
Do you plan to meet President Putin, sir?
I'll be meeting with President Putin.
When do you plan?
I don't know, I can't, it's being set up.
Your first trip foreign that might be, sir?
So first foreign trip typically has been with UK, but I did it with Saudi Arabia last time because they agreed to buy $450 billion worth of our product. I said, I'll do it, but you have to buy American product, and they agreed to do that. They bought $450 billion. It was the least reported story I've ever been involved in.
And now, where are you planning to go now?
Well, I don't know.
That's it. No more
If
order.
Saudi Arabia wanted to buy another
Sign on the
450
table
or
now.
500, we'll up it for all the inflation.
Come on, continue signature, continue. Oh, here more.
I think I
And
probably
the
go
wars, first day.
What this one is about. He did not explain the one before. Those journalists, they are not letting him explain what he's signing.
It should have never started. You know, the war with Ukraine and Russia should have never started. It would have never started if I were president.
Shut them up. Let us hear what he is signing. See, we don't know now what he is signing.
I don't think I have to push
No
it.
more
I think it's going to happen.
explanation.
Maybe not quite yet,
Explanation.
but they'll end up being in the Accords.
This guy is not saying what he is signing.
President Trump,
I think Saudi Arabia will end up being in the Abraham Accords.
this year,
Could be, but soon.
Shut them up, man. Tell us what you signed.
Ooh, look at that. It says TikTok.
President
My,
Trump,
what is that all about?
First, we have Alaska, sir. This is an executive order relating to unleashing Alaska's potential as an energy reservoir for the entire nation.
And
Wonderful.
what about Anwar?
A lot of
I
oil.
believe that would be included in aspects of the
So
order.
we're opening up Anwar.
on the same
The
time,
oil is coming, guys.
you and your members of your team now used to warn about the dangers of TikTok spying on Americans. What changed that you're not worried about that anymore?
Well, it depends on the deal. I mean, I may not do the deal or I may do the deal. TikTok is worthless. Worthless if I don't approve it. It has to close. I learned that from the people that own it. If I don't do the deal, it's worthless, worth nothing. If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion, $1 trillion. So if I do the deal I'm talking about doing it for the United States. If I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half.
The TikTok CEO.
In other words, I think the U.S. should be entitled to get half of TikTok. And congratulations, TikTok has a good partner. And that would be worth, could be $500 billion or something. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy. But it's worthless if the president doesn't sign, then it's worthless. If the president does sign, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. So I think.
I wish he would
like a
kick them
joint
out.
venture, I think we would have a joint venture with the people from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's one of many ideas I've had.
The CEO is now, did he say that he's open to that idea?
Who?
The CEO, TikTok is around.
Oh, I think he'd probably like it. Because he's got nothing. I mean, they really have nothing. It's passed in Congress. It gives the president a right to make a deal or to close it. And we have 90 days to make that decision. But I could see making a deal where the U.S. gets 50% of TikTok, polices it a little bit or a lot, depends on them. But remember, they make telephones in China, they make all sorts of things in China. Nobody ever complains about that. Here they're complaining about this. There's so many different products made in China, and nobody ever complained about it. The only one they complain about is TikTok. And TikTok is largely young people. I guess I have a warm spot for TikTok that I didn't have originally. But, you know, I went on TikTok, and I won young people up by 36%, Peter. And Republicans typically don't do too well with young people. But it's a different Republican Party.
Would the U.S. government buy a portion of TikTok then, or how would it get that 50%?
No, you'd take 50% of TikTok for the approval that TikTok could continue in business. And they'd have a great partner. The U.S. would be their partner. But the U.S. essentially would be paid for doing that half of the value of TikTok.
Would there be a private sector owner as
Could
well
be,
in the
yeah,
U.S.?
could be a lot. Tell you what, every rich person has called me about TikTok
You wanted to block TikTok. Why did you change your mind?
because I got to use it. And remember, TikTok is largely about kids, young kids. If China's going to get information about young kids, I don't know. I think, to be honest with you, I think we have bigger problems than that. But you know, when you take a look at telephones that are made in China and all the other things that are made in China, military equipment made in China, TikTok, I think TikTok is not their biggest problem. But there's big value in TikTok if it gets approved. If it doesn't get approved, there's no value. So if we create that value, why aren't we entitled to like half?
Sir, if they don't take you 90 days, will you shut them down?
Does Biden ever do news conferences like this? How many news conferences, Peter, has he done like this?
Never.
Like this?
None.
0.
And it would be 0 for the next infinity. For infinity, it would be 0.
But when you plan to talk to President Musk, gonna help?
But we want to know what you are signing, man.
I think you mentioned
No,
implementation.
Let them shut up for a little time.
Elon's very busy sending rocket ships up to various places with lots of satellites on them.
What is your reaction to the confirmation of Marco Rubio, and what does it mean for Latin America?
Which one?
Marco Rubio.
Marco Rubio. You said Marco. Marco.
Rubio.
Yeah, he's, I think he's great. I think Marco's doing a fantastic job. I think he's going to get a lot of votes. I think he's going to be at 90% or something. I mean, I'm hearing very good. People know him. They know him in the Senate. They know he's good. He's doing a good job. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know what's going to happen with that. He's got some very strong ideas, though, Marco.
You signed the TikTok order, right? Did you sign the TikTok order?
Yeah,
Yes, that was just.
President Marco Rubio's ideas is
just signed it.
How many
still
did you sign?
changing
Are you going to
Venezuela,
sign?
changing power. Are you
Come on, shut up, people.
power in Venezuela?
We don't know what
We're
he's
gonna find out
signing.
about that, too, because we're going to probably stop buying oil from Venezuela. We don't need their oil.
Another embargo like the first term?
No, it could be, but we don't want to buy, we don't have to buy their oil. We have plenty of oil. for
Shouldn't you
ourselves.
ask the guy next to you what he's giving you to
That'll change
sign?
Venezuela quite a bit.
President Trump, there was a lot of concern about this during the campaign. A question that only works today. Are you a dictator on day one?
No, no. I can't imagine even being called that. No, I believe in the sanctity of the vote. The Democrats didn't because they cheated like dogs, but I believe in the sanctity, and this was too big to rig. This last election was just too big to rig. But no,
believe in climate
really
change.
the opposite.
When do you plan to speak to President Putin?
Could be very soon.
And you talked a bit about Ukraine and Russia, but how long do you think it would take to end that conflict? And
I have to speak to President Putin. We're going to have to find out. He can't be thrilled. He's not doing so well. I mean, he's grinding it out, but most people thought that war would have been over in about 1 week. And now you're into 3 years, right? So he can't be thrilled. It's not making him look very good. Now, eventually, you know, I mean, it's a big machine, so things will happen, but I think he'd be very well off to end that war. We have numbers that almost 1 million Russian soldiers have been killed. About 700,000 Ukrainian soldiers are killed. Russia's bigger, they have more soldiers to lose. But that's no way to run a country.
What did your TikTok order do, Mr. President?
Just gave me the right to sell it or close it. Essentially with TikTok, I have the right to either sell it or close it. And we'll make that determination. And
Take
we
it.
may have to get an approval from China too, I'm not sure. But I'm sure they'll approve it. And if they don't approve it, it would be somewhat of a hostile act, I think. But it's good for China if it gets approved.
Mr. President, so you're not guaranteeing that TikTok will be around after 90 days from today?
No, but it could very well be. It makes sense for it to be. because it's got tremendous value. But if we create the value by approval, in other words, that approval gives it tremendous value. If that's the case, then we should be entitled to 50% as a country. You understand? You haven't heard that one before, right? That's called a joint venture. And nobody ever thought that way before. Well, I don't know. I think you have a lot of people that would be interested in TikTok with the United States as a partner.
Mr. President, what was it like walking into the Oval Office this evening?
Oh, what a great feeling. One of the better feelings I've ever had.
Do you like this town better now than in 2017?
Well, we're very experienced now. You would say nobody's ever had experience like I have. I've dealt with some very good people. I've dealt with some very bad people, and I know who the bad ones are and the good ones are. Don't forget, I was very successful in primarily the real estate business. And people used to say, who's worse, a politician or a vicious real estate developer? And I'd always say, the real estate developer is far worse. But after about 3 months and getting to know scum like Adam Schiff and other people like that, I said, no, actually, real estate people are quite nice by comparison.
You said you plan to speak with President Putin soon. What about President Zelensky, and what's your message?
Yeah, I would, but he's told me he wants to make a deal. Zelensky wants to make a deal. I don't know if Putin does. He might not. I don't know. He should make a deal. I think he's destroying Russia by not making a deal. I think Russia's going to be in big trouble. You take a look at their economy, you take a look at the inflation in Russia. So I would hope, I got along with him great, and, I would hope he wants to make
Yeah, we want to know what he's signing, but those idiots, they don't give him a break.
Well, sanctions or tariffs. I think the word tariff is much better because it keeps your dollar stronger. I think tariffs are more effective. I mean, I use sanctions on Iran. Iran was broke. When I left office, Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, none. They were flat broke. And October 7th would have never happened. And I think you all know that.
Explain what you're signing, man.
No money. Now they're rich, but, they're weakened in a different way. I would say that the one attack by Israel really set them back. It really set them back. The pagers, and others. The attack on air defense was a bad attack for Iran.
What are you signing now?
He's the
An
one.
executive order relating to reforms to the federal workforce, including to the senior executive service.
We're getting rid of all of the cancer. I call it cancer. The cancer caused by the Biden administration.
Finally,
Are you, Mr. President,
he said
that
something.
Keep the ceasefire in Gaza and conclude the 3 phases of this deal.
I'm not confident. That's not our war, it's their war, but I'm not confident. But I think they're very weakened on the other side.
Do you support the 2-state
Gaza, boy, I looked at a picture of Gaza. Gaza is like a massive demolition site. That place it's really, it's got to be rebuilt in a different way.
Do you plan to help rebuilding Gaza?
I might. Gaza is interesting. It's a phenomenal location. On the sea,
Yeah, but the trashy people.
best weather. Everything's good. It's like some beautiful things could be done with it, but it's very interesting. But some fantastic things could be done with Gaza.
Never.
How do you see the future in governance?
We are dreaming.
Well, it depends. I can't imagine you could have, well, you certainly can't have the people that were there. Most of them are dead, by the way, right? Most of them are dead. But they didn't exactly run it well. Run viciously and badly. So you can't have that.
Mr. President, on TikTok, sir,
What are you signing? Tell us.
decision on Chinese tariffs until you know what the resolution on TikTok.
Yeah, we don't know what he's signing. All those orders, we don't know.
China
That.
didn't approve it, we could put tariffs on China. Don't forget, China charges us tariffs, and we charge them very little, except for what I did. I put a lot of, we took in hundreds of billions of dollars. But until I came along, China never paid 10 cents to this country. They ripped us off, and they never paid anything. But like, if we wanted to make a deal with TikTok and it was a good deal,
TikTok
and
again.
China wouldn't approve it, then I
That's
think
it. We are done
ultimately
with
they'd
TikTok.
approve it because it would put tariffs on China. Maybe. I'm not saying I would, but you certainly could do that. And if we said, well, if you're not going to approve it, then that's a certain hostility, and we'll put tariffs of 25, 30, 40, 50%, even 100%. And if we did that, I think they'd approve it.
President Trump, you've seen the other living presidents a couple times in the last few months. If you ever had to call on one of them for advice about anything that's going on here, which one would you call?
It's an interesting. Well, I thought Bill Clinton was a very good politician. I don't think he was used properly. I think they disrespected him. When Hillary was running, he came back and he said, you know, you better get up to Michigan and Wisconsin. You remember that, Peter? Every house has a Trump sign on it. And they all laughed at him because the Republicans hadn't won Michigan or Wisconsin for decades, long time. And they all laughed at Bill Clinton. Like, the hell does he know? And he turned out to be right because I won both of them. And then we just won both in this election, too. We won Wisconsin and Michigan and every other swing state. We won all the swing states, all 7. They talked about 7 swing states. We won them all. So, but Bill Clinton he had a great political sense, I think.
You looked like you were having a good conversation with President Obama at President
I
Carter's
was.
funeral.
And you'd like to know what it was? Oh. Everybody wants to know. I know, I wouldn't want to, but we were having some crazy conversation. Why do you asking a question like that? I don't think you want to know. You might not. You might be insulted.
It's an executive order relating to holding former government officials accountable for unlawful disclosure of sensitive information.
Wonderful.
This next one, sir, is a declaration of a national energy emergency.
That's a big one. You know what that allows you to do?
Yes, that's a big one.
You can do whatever you have to do to get out of that problem. And we do have that kind of an emergency.
President Trump, at some point will you use your powers of the presidency to tell Americans who are concerned about drones?
Yeah,
A few weeks
good.
ago,
Yeah.
what exactly
I
was
will.
happening? Can you tell us now?
In fact, I'd like to know because I just got here.
What do you think?
I just came here. I've been here for what, 15 minutes now.
Do people listening, because this is going out live.
And I got to read this letter too. Because of you, I found this letter.
I can read it for you.
It's interesting. Yeah, I know you would. Your father would too.
But is it anything with these drones? Is it anything that people need to be worried
No,
about?
I think it's terrible. I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
And can you commit to some kind of...
In fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that was, Susie? Okay? Yeah, why don't we find out? Immediately. I mean, I can't imagine it's an enemy or there would have been, people would have gotten blown up all over. Maybe they were testing things. I don't know why they wouldn't have said what it was. They had a lot of them flying over Bedminster, which is interesting. Right?
And with the events today and yesterday, was everything moved inside just for cold weather, or was there some kind of security concern?
No security. Because they had everything shut down to drones. You can shut that down pretty easily if you're sophisticated. They're very sophisticated, these people. No, it was just cold weather. And we made a good move because, first of all, I thought it was incredible in the Capitol today. You know why I liked it? Because I got great reviews on that speech. I got great reviews. Can you believe it? They actually were fair.
This is
Maybe the fake news is changing.
Unleashing energy production.
Yeah, unleashing energy production. But I thought it was, I think having it in the Capitol is great. Obviously, you can take care of the people you have to take care of. The city was booming. And if we would have done it outside.
What happened?
Because it was really cold. It was like, look sunny.
We didn't know what he's signing
But when you stood
because of those
outside
stupid
for
people.
10 minutes, people were running back in. It was really cold and
We didn't know
really
what he's
windy.
signing, right?
The wind brings it down a lot.
We have no idea.
So we made the right decision. You couldn't have stayed, I don't think you could have had it out. You know how cold it was today. It was, people went out for a little while just to test it. They couldn't stay out more than 10 minutes. They all came back in.
Oh, boy.
So we would have had a disaster if we did that, and people would have been hurt.
The unlawful disclosure, is that related to the Hunter Biden situation?
Which one?
The one on unlawful disclosures by federal officials? Is that related?
No, I think it's just more general than that. It's not Hunter Biden. I was surprised that President Biden would go and pardon his whole family, because that makes him look very guilty. You know, I could have pardoned my family. I could have pardoned myself, my family. I said, if I do that, it's going to make me look very guilty. I don't think I'd be sitting here, frankly. If I did that, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now, because I would have shown that you're guilty. But by pardoning his brother or brothers, by pardoning all of those people that he pardoned, by pardoning J6, the Unselect Committee, they destroyed all of the documents. They deleted all of the information. There's no information.
See how filthy they
The
are?
information pertains to Nancy Pelosi.
All the
because she was
papers, all the
given
investigation are burned.
I mean, you know this. It's on tape with her daughter. Nancy Pelosi was responsible for not taking advantage of 10,000 soldiers or 1,000. You wouldn't have you could have used 400. It was a relatively small crowd. It wasn't the crowd that was at the mall. It was a small crowd. So I was a little bit surprised that he did it, because it makes him look guilty. I mean, he's going to have to live
Well,
with it.
he is
Now, with
guilty.
That being said, it's unbelievable precedent it creates for a president. But the precedent is unbelievable. Now maybe every president that leaves office, they're going to pardon every person they ever met, so they don't have some lunatic like deranged Jack Smith, who's a total lunatic, by the way. Not a smart guy either, he's a dummy. But we beat the hell out of him, and I helped my reputation.
Do you think you'd have to do the same thing at the end of this term?
Well, I guess now I have precedent to do it. I wouldn't want to do that, no. I think it makes you look very guilty. I think it makes Biden look very bad, very weak, and very guilty. And, I mean, he pardoned everybody. How about this J6 committee? Why is he pardoning them? The reason is because if you delete and destroy documentation, everything, they have nothing, because they were guilty as hell. They rigged it. It was a rigged deal. And when you do that, they look very bad.
I know. I mean, this is not what we are looking for, guys.
Liz Cheney, I mean,
We don't know what he's signing. I waited here to see what he was going to sign.
she lost by the greatest margin in the history of a politician running for Congress, like 40 points. The reason...
All right, I will stop this, guys. We are here to see what he's signing, but those, puppies, I mean, what is this? He should take advantage of saying what he is doing now, so people will see that he keep his promises. Those journalists, you can do them later. Why now? I mean, you are signing, say, well, let the guy explain what you are signing, so every citizen in this country will see what you just did. It is opportunity to explain what you are doing, the promise you kept. Instead, we are repeating the same thing: TikTok, Russia, Ukraine, Venezuela, TikTok, Okay. Very disappointing. But I'm glad that we heard him, that he signed January 6th, because I felt so bad for those people, Actually, me, myself, I was thinking to go and join them, and yeah, if I was there, I would be arrested with those filthy dogs of Biden. Anyway, I trust that they prepare a lot of work to clean up the garbage of Biden. And this is why Biden, he burdened everybody in his family, because he knew what he have done. All right. Well, it's good that he talk, good, because this is what make difference between him and Kamala. This guy, he's, he is not fake. He say what is in his mind right away. He do not need something written for him in the screen to read for you the answer. Like Joe Biden, they gave him the questions and the answers, yet he could not make it. Same as Kamala Harris. This guy, people sit in front of him, ask him whatever they want, he gave them answer right away. There's no screen in front of him. There's no somebody telling him what to say, what not to say. And that's what make him win, actually, because people, they feel they are close to him. He is very natural. They are very fake. You know, even when they talk, they fake their voice. Right? Yeah. Well, what we can do, he allowed them to be in the room.
He said, though, think of it. China pays 39 million and we pay 500 million. And China's a bigger country.
Mr. President, you spoke about inflation today in your remarks.
What are you saying now?
That will have a direct impact for Americans on their everyday costs to bring the
Well,
costs down.
the biggest thing and factor for inflation is energy.
Yeah.
They screwed up my energy policy, and then they went back to it. You know, they heard it really badly, and then they went back to it, and they started drilling more, but by that time it was too late. Many of these things that we're signing and that Doug Burgum is going to be signing, and Chris Wright, who's phenomenal, you know, Department of Energy, we're going to be taking a lot, we're going to make a lot of money from energy.
Let us see how the price will
More than
change for
anybody
oil.
else. We're going to make a lot of money from energy. We're going to make a lot of money from tariffs. You know, European Union charges us, they have a VAT tax of 20%, but it's really much higher than that. And that's the equivalent, almost the equivalent of a tariff. And they're tough. They're very tough. They don't take our cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take almost anything. And yet we take their cars and we take their farm product. We take a lot from them. So, you know, we have like a $300 billion deficit with the European Union. So we'll straighten that out with either tariffs or they have to buy our oil. The one thing they can do, our oil and gas, the one thing they can do to catch up quickly, buy our oil and gas. And they should do that.
Will you travel to China this year?
Yeah, it could be. I've had the invite.
I
would do it, yeah.
Talking about the European Union and the tariffs, like, what do you mean when you say that European Union country like Spain is part of BRICS?
That are what?
BRICS.
Oh, BRICS. No, I was talking about BRICS. BRICS are 6 nations. I think it's 7 nations. And they were looking to do a number in the United States. And if they do that, they won't be happy about what's going to happen to them.
Good. Finally, somebody standing for BRICS gang.
Yeah, but we're not ready for that yet. We may wrap it, because essentially all countries take advantage of the U.S. We don't make any good deals in the U.S. It's amazing in a way that we exist. We don't make good deals. We don't have any good deals. We have a deficit with almost, not all, there are a couple, I won't tell you their names because I don't want them to find out about it because they'll feel stupid. But there are a couple of countries that actually don't make money with us. But I don't want to let you know because they'll immediately change that. But we're gonna do. I tell you what, our country has an amazing economic future. I really believe that.
What kind of universal tariff if you did do one?
Well, you'd put a universal tariff on anybody doing business in the United States because they're coming in and they're stealing our wealth, they're stealing our jobs, they're stealing our companies, they're hurting our companies. So you put a tariff on to keep them from doing that.
Mr. President, you surrounded yourself with a whole bunch of billionaires today. President Biden has in his farewell address warned about an oligarchy. I was wondering if you could respond to that.
Well, he had a lot of guys, and then they found out that he didn't know what the hell he was talking about, and I think they deserted him. They deserted him, those same guys. Look, I don't make pretenses, smart guys, but there are a lot of smart people around, but they did desert him. They were all with him, every one of them.
We didn't
Now
know what
they're
he's
all
signing,
with me.
guys.
I don't know. It's not going to get anything from me. I don't need money. But I do want the nation to do well, and they're smart people, and they have, they create a lot of jobs. And if they don't do it, China's going to do it. You know, what they've done is they've taken industries and they've taken it away. They outsmarted China. And, we sort of like that. It's okay. They've done a great job. A lot of them, not all of them.
Protecting women from radical gender ideologies.
Ooh.
Mr. President, going back to the World Health
This is protecting women from radical gender. Okay, that's good. Finally, we heard one.
Sure, I do, but not.
This is a signature now against the gender, the propaganda.
World Health ripped us off Everybody rips off the United States. And
No male will go to the bathroom of women
thank you very much, everybody.
because he's wearing skirts.
One last one, sir. This is your Martin Luther King Day proclamation.
Finally, he kicked him out. Get out.
Let's go. Thanks, President.
We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research. Nice to see you.
Okay, what are you saying now? Now
This is a big one.
what is this?
Anything you want to explain about this? We hope they get them, we hope they come out tonight, frankly.
What is this?
They're expecting it
Okay, say what is this?
approximately 1,500 people, six commutations.
Were there any cases you did not need or part of people?
We're looking at different things.
They are playing back, I think, now.
Look, and maybe it'll stay that way, or it'll go to, full pardon.
And the order does require the Bureau of Prisons to act immediately on receipt of the pardons and commutation orders. So
Yeah, they
this
are
is-
playing back, as they are playing back what they just did already. So this is a repeat, it's a repeat, so we will not watch it anymore. All right. So at least now we know that he burdened January 6 people, and this is very important. And tomorrow we will find out more about what he burdened, what he signed, and we will see the list of them. Actually, maybe we can search now in the internet, and we can find the list. But it's going to be better if you don't have those stupid journalists. And the guy next to him, he tell us one by one what he was done, what he's signing. All right. So I want to say thank you guys for being here. I hope we have a good time. And, we waited for long. And I hope now he will be able to make a big difference, and he will not make the same mistake as last time. Now, any change he want to happen, he should send it to the Congress now, not 2 years after, because in 2 years maybe the Republican lose the majority, and then will happen to him the same what happened last time. Last time, the first 2 years they did not let him do anything. They kept him busy with Russia. He is a Russian agent, all the garbage. Democrats are very evil. They keep the guy busy under investigation, so he will not be able to accomplish anything. Now all this garbage is gone, so he should immediately, whatever he wanted to be a law, send it to the Congress. Don't wait for 2 years where maybe the Congress will not be our Congress no more. Now you have the Senate, you have 53 senators, and you have 222 Congress. And now they will replace those who they are in Florida. So you have the majority. Don't wait. Do what you need to do now, because those orders, they can be canceled easy. The same as he did to Biden. 78 order he gave, one signature are gone. Just one signature. You do not need to go after them one by one. Just on one paper it says the 78, all the executive order of Biden are canceled. It's over. Now he need to move and make whatever he planned to do as a law, like about the gender, about the freedom of speech, about not only just an order where it can be deleted after he go. All right, I hope he would do that. So guys, I want to say thank you for being here, and I will see you soon again. God bless you, and God is good. So is Jesus. And for those who will be free from jail today, I'm happy for you. Go home. You are free. God bless. See ya.